Hey there, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So, hey, I wanted to come to you live today to talk about MLM presentation tips. Now, before I get into the actual content, let me go ahead and give you an overview of what it is that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the notion of you to start a show, and I'm also going to be talking about your product to start the show. But before I get into the actual content, let me go ahead and provide you with some context. I believe that every network marketer, every business owner needs to have a marketing plan. And the only way to have a marketing plan is to have a marketing roadmap, which is why when I work with business owners, when I work with network marketers, I help them implement this specific roadmap into their business. Now, this roadmap has 3 core steps: reach, engage, and attract. And every core step has prerequisites, and the prerequisite that I'm going to be pulling from today is the audience prerequisite. That is the prerequisite that I'm going to be pulling from today. Now, as to the actual content, MLM presentation tips. Now, when I was thinking about this specific topic and this specific content, one of the things that I thought about is the fact that as it relates to me hosting local marketing events, when I host local marketing events, sometimes I allow the specific audience to pick the topic that they want me to talk about. It makes sense, right? You have a specific group of individuals, and these specific individuals are interested in a specific topic. So sometimes you let them pick the actual topic. So that's one of the things that I did. That's one of the things that I still do. And one of the requests at some point was that, you know what, hey Vladimir, I see that a lot of people doing these live videos, a lot of people doing video presentations. What are some of the tips? What are some of the things that you can give me? Some feedback you can give me as to what is it that you see that works as it relates to presentations. So essentially, one of the things that I spoke to them about is the fact that one of the things that I see that works is, especially when someone's doing a presentation for the very first time, is those specific individuals, they're pretty much talking about their why. Really, so because talking about your why is very important, because what that does is that allows a specific individual to connect with you on a deeper level, and they understand, okay, precisely why are you doing what it is that you're doing. So for example, my why is that, hey, you know what, I grew up in a small town. I came here. I'm from Haiti, grew up in a small town. My family, my parents struggled, and I said to myself, you know what? I want to see if I can kind of just do better for myself when I grow up. So that was one of my why. And then my next why was, hey, I want to see if I can become a business owner. So everyone has their specific why, and when you tell people your why, it allows them to specifically connect with you, right? So that was one of the things that I told them. The other thing that I told them is that, okay, in addition to telling people your why, essentially, if you're selling, one of the other things that I see that work very well is that you have to tell people your struggle story. So for example, for me, when I was talking about, conversions, right, I didn't just wake up one day and all of a sudden I started to kind of just have a very high conversion or very high success rate. Essentially, there's a path that you go through before you arrive to a specific point. So for me, I pretty much told them, discuss your path. So, I have a path whereby I spent thousands and thousands of dollars for my first website, and, I hired a company. The company didn't do what they were supposed to do, and I went and tried to learn marketing my first time around. I wasn't necessarily that good at it, and then over time, I became better, and I learned how to do. I learned how to drive leads, and I learned how to increase my conversions. So all of those specific things, instead of me kind of just going on and just saying, hey, you know what? Hey, I know how to do this thing, and this thing is called conversion. And in order for a conversion to work, this is what you have to do. If I came on, if you're watching any live, right, and that's all the individuals did, the individuals kind of just jumped on the live and said, hey, this is how you do X, Y, and Z, without giving you any specific background, or without pretty much telling you the path, right? And in the path, when you're discussing the path, what I told these specific individuals in the path, if you've had struggles in the path, specifically tell people your struggles, because that's what people connect with, because people will understand that, you know what, this person struggled just like I am struggling. So essentially, those are the things that I told, these specific individuals as it relates to some of the tips. Now, after the class, one of the individuals told me that, you know what if I don't have these struggle stories? What if I don't have, these whys? So these stories exist. They exist deep inside of you. And I told the individual to go ahead and find these specific stories, because that is indeed the model that works. Now, that's what I told this specific individual. I said, you know what, just go deep inside and you'll definitely find stories. You'll find things to be able to connect with other, to be able to kind of just allow you to connect with your specific audience. And then I kind of just, move on. The class was over. I gave her the feedback, but I saw hesitation in her face, and she was just kind of just hesitant based on the information that I gave her. Then I moved on, and then one of the things that I was working on that following week is that I was going to be interviewing some some Haitian YouTubers. So Haitian YouTubers, I'm on YouTube and I'm kind of just looking at videos of Haitian YouTubers. And as I'm looking at videos of Haitian YouTubers, and I'm on YouTube, one of the things that I saw on the side, one of the next videos, was a recommended video. And the next video essentially was a video of someone who was in the hair care industry. So think about someone who's in the hair care industry, and specifically, you know, I was drawn to that specific video. I don't know why I was drawn to that specific video, but I was drawn to that specific video. And then as I was drawn to that specific video, I was looking at the engagement on that specific video. I looked at the views, I looked at the likes. I was like, man, this video has just a whole lot of engagements. And when I started to kind of just watch the video, it came to my attention that this specific individual was not talking about herself at all. All that this specific individual was talking about, this specific individual was talking about the product. So all of a sudden it went from, you know, you being the person being the star of the show to the individual product being the star of the show. So all of a sudden this person had all of these different hair care type products, and that's all this person was talking about, just the actual product. And I thought to myself, man, you know, you don't necessarily have to always, you know, talk about you. You can talk about the actual product, and the product was the star of the show. And then I started to kind of just think to myself, okay, are there other channels or are there other individuals that's doing the exact same thing, whereby they're not necessarily focused on talking about themselves, and they're talking about the actual product? And the answer was yes. There's other industries that does the exact same thing. I think about the fact that one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to right now, all this specific individual does is interview other people. So he's not even talking about himself at all. So his show or his presentation essentially revolves around you know, just interviewing other people, and it's a very, very, very successful show. Other shows that I can think about, or other presentation types that I can think about, are cooking shows. If you're looking at a cooking show, the cooking show is all about the product, and the product being, you know, the cooking ingredients and the actual meal. And if I think about you know, sometimes some of the health things that they're selling. So if you're thinking about Bowflex or some of those items that they're selling, it's not necessarily about the individual, it's about the actual product. I saw a commercial not too long ago, an ad not too long ago, about a suitcase, and it was a short, small presentation, and the presentation was around, you know, suitcase. The other thing is software. When I think about software, you know, one of the shows that I tune to pretty much on a regular basis, the show, pretty much this individual has the software. It's a content creation, copywriting software, and every time I'm listening to or watching a specific presentation, the individual does not talk about themselves at all. All that specific individual talks about is the software. So this person is making the actual product be the star of the show. So essentially, I was very happy about this, because all of a sudden I can go back to the group and say, you know what? Yes, there are times you can go ahead and make yourself be the star of the show, and that is very effective. However, there's this other model where, and I think this specific individual was selling a physical product. I was like, this other model is that you can go ahead and make the product be the star of the show, and talk about the actual product and display the product and showcase the product. So those are the actual, so those are the two models that work as it relates to to presentations. One of the things that I'm doing later this week is that I'm hosting a free web class. Now the web class is specific to network marketing, and it has two goals. Goal number one is this is going to show you how to generate a lead online, and then goal number two is going to show you how to take that lead and turn that lead into a customer. There's going to be a link somewhere in this page, and go ahead and click on that link to register for the free web class. The other thing that I'm doing is that if you're not in network marketing, but you're a business owner and you need marketing help, is that I can become your marketing guy. And if we decide that I'm the right fit for me to become your marketing guy, I'm going to help you implement this specific roadmap into your business, just to make sure that from a marketing standpoint, everything is specific and everything is airtight. There's going to be a separate link somewhere on this page, and that separate link is going to allow you to go ahead and request additional information from me, at which point I'll go ahead and send you the details and let you know what are the steps as it relates to working with me, you know, from a marketing standpoint. Hey, that is my time. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.